Hello, welcome back, or if this is your first time, you don't have to subscribe, like, or anything. I don't care. Honestly, I would like it, but I don't care. This is my Superman, the pilot review. Just for the quick, amazing episode. Oh, just great. It looks great. It was written, the music, the acting, everything about it was just awesome, and I cannot wait for the rest of this season, because it is gonna be amazing, man. I don't know if later seasons it's gonna decline, probably is, but I don't know. I'm rambling, so, let's just roll that intro. The opening montage was probably my favorite part, with, Clark zooming down to Earth and his mom finding him, and then, showing him as a baby, throwing the football through the house, and then him as a teenager and his father dying, and then we see parts of his funeral. We don't see the full funeral, but this reminded me of the funeral for when his dad died in Smallville, which also was very similar, and there are a lot of similarities to Smallville in this episode. Probably just references, but Smallville's pretty great. But then we see Clark the first time he comes to Metropolis, and Tyler Hoechlin is great as Clark Kent. He may be better than Christopher Reeve. No, he's on par with Christopher Reeve. I don't know about Superman, but he's a great Clark Kent. But we see Clark Kent meet Lois Lane, and it's like Smallville in every time you see Superman first meet Lois Lane, you know what's about to happen. It's just magical, man. It's like one of those magical moments. Superman meeting Lois Lane, and then Clark Kent meeting Lois Lane. But anyway, then we see him outing as Superman for the first time, and they made a costume just for this one scene, which looks amazing. And they made a costume, which means we're probably gonna see it again in a flashback episode, maybe. Then this is obviously a reference to Superman #1 from like 1939, from 1940, I think. And then Superman has the Fleischer suit on, which, oh my god, I love this suit. Man, I love this suit on him. It looks great. He has the undies and everything. I wish they would have shown the Supergirl Superman suit, just for like continuity and crisis. And we don't know when he gets this new suit for the show, but anyway. Just look at that suit in the yellow outline, and he's like, thanks, my mom made the suit for me. And you can just see like the cape and how it's homemade and everything. But I do want to say the muscles on that suit look super fake, man. They kinda do. But then after this scene, we see Clark revealing his powers to Lois, which they later reference, and they say she didn't understand it at first, but this is also one of the scenes. Like, I don't think Lois knew Clark had powers until like season 10 of Smallville, and when she was introduced in season 4. But anyway, this is just a big moment in Superman lore. And in this next part, they change from Elseworlds, where we actually saw it, where Clark proposed to Lois, but they kept it in the fortress now, which I am interested about, because it doesn't look like the same fortress from Supergirl. And I don't know if this screws up the timeline. I don't know if the fortress appears in Supergirl season 5 post-crisis, but if it does, it's probably going to look like this. But just look at that. Look how beautiful it is. And this is supposed to be before when he appeared on Supergirl in the last part of Crisis, but he has the new suit. I don't know, but look how beautiful that is, man. But then Clark starts talking about his kids and how Jonathan was easy, but Jordan was not. Jordan was a troubled child, and nothing really came easy to him, which later we kind of learn why. and we see Clark and Lois parenting, which we've never seen before, really. TV shows always stop when they have a baby. But then it switches to like last year, and we see that we learn that Jordan has anxiety, like social anxiety, which means he doesn't like to be around people. But that now we're in like August of 2020 because school's about to start, and we see Lois in the newsroom, and we see that there is a nuclear meltdown about to happen. So General Lane calls in Superman through the button that everybody seems to have now, which I don't know, cool. But yeah, Superman appears. This was just awesome seeing him fly that fast. I don't think we've ever seen Supergirl fly that fast, man. And now, post-crisis, Superman is stronger than Supergirl, as it should be. No offense. But then, he's flying into the reactor core, and he looks at the reactor core, and, sees it has a weird cut in it. And he's also confused by how someone could get in there, and just, I mean, look at this picture. Look how this show looks, man. But then he seals the reactor core shut with his heat vision really quick. He knows it's gonna break because it's not cooling it down. So he goes into the ocean, freezes it, and lifts up a block of ice from the ocean, and goes down to the reactor core as it melts. And you saw how big that thing was when it went in the reactor core. When it was down, it was tiny. The CGI in this is amazing, man. But then he talks to General Lane, and they're talking about how it's possible that none of the scientists in here saw that the person that cut that or anything. And it's weird. But then Clark goes home, and you see a severe difference from when he's Superman to when he's Clark Kent at home to when he's dad. He enters the house. He talks to Lois, and Lois is kind of mad at him because he missed everything. She says dinner's in the fridge, and go talk to Jordan because he missed therapy today. But first he talks to Jonathan, and Jonathan is really easy to Clark. Jonathan's just normal. He walks in on Jonathan, and he's just talking to a friend on the computer, and that's all. And he's just like, okay, bye. And you see in this scene that, well, when we first see Jordan, we think he's gonna be the one with powers, but that's not the case. But then Clark goes to talk to John. Oh, was I calling him Jordan? Jordan. This is Jordan. He talks to Jordan, and he is playing Injustice 2. And he's playing as Superman, and he's playing as a dude against Superman, and he says Superman sucks, which it's pretty funny actually saying that to Superman. But you don't know it's Superman, you say it's your dad. You're basically saying your dad sucks. But then Clark Kent gets a call from his mom, Martha, and she doesn't sound too good, man. You hear it on the phone. Even I picked up on it, just watching, that she didn't seem too good. This is about time he has kids that Martha would probably die. So it's no surprise when she really does later. But we'll get into that. But then we see Clark in. It's the next morning. It's Metropolis. And school is supposed to start the day after this day, which really sucks for the kids. Which doesn't. But Clark and Lois go in, and we see that people are getting laid off, left and right, and getting fired. Same thing, laid off, fired. But then we see that Clark got fired. I mean, it's Clark Kent, man. Lois Lane didn't get fired, obviously, most famous reporter ever. But then we see Clark and Lois talking, and it's just we see like the human side of Clark Kent really quick. Just like when Lois's bar gets stuck, he like he pushes the vending machine. I just like this. They make it look so natural in the show, but then Clark gets a call from his mom's doctor, and he rushes to Smallville. I don't think there. We learn in the actual show Smallville, there's like a 6-hour difference between Metropolis and Smallville. He goes there so fast, man. But you see him change into Clark Kent clothes really quick, and then he goes to his mother and learns that his mother has passed. So then, it's about the next day after that. We see her funeral, and it flashes back to Jonathan Kent's funeral. Clark's Clark's dad, and we see that in in Jonathan's funeral, Clark couldn't handle it, so he didn't throw the rose. He ran away because, if you know Superman, Jonathan Kent meant so much to Clark Kent, so that must have been hard. It's always hard for Clark Kent to lose somebody, but now we see he's stronger, so he is the one that throws the first rose in the coffin. But then we see later, after the party, we see Jordan and Jonathan bantering and just talking, and Jordan makes fun of he doesn't make fun, he just like, it's like, well, it's 1 o'clock, isn't it time for you to take your pill and stuff? And he's like, everybody has a cheat day or something, but I don't know if that's bad. But then we see Clark Kent and Lana Lane is there at the funeral, and it's finally like a reunion. And later they mention that Clark doesn't go to reunions because he's so busy as Superman. So this must have been like after years, or like a decade of not seeing each other, man. But then we meet this douchebag. That's all I'm gonna say. But here's Sarah Cushing, who talks to Jordan and doesn't really like Jonathan. I'm just gonna call him John because that's what people in the show call him. But she gives Jordan her number. So oh no, she was giving Jordan signs later. Let's just say that. But then they're inside, and Kyle, Lana, Lois, and Clark are drinking a beer and talking about Martha, and somehow the conversation moves into Morgan Edge, who seems like he's going to be a big villain this season. They've already cast him. It's not the person from Supergirl, which is another crisis change, which I bet they'll have a bunch in Superman, because Supergirl used up a bunch of Superman's villains. Livewire again, let's do that. But anyway, this dude sucks. I'm just gonna say that. We learn why a possibility of that is, but he sucks, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they make him feel good they make him a good guy, but then he dies at the end of season 1, and we're like, what? No! I don't know. But then, they go looking for the Wi-Fi, and they're not supposed to be in the barn, so, Jordan climbs, up that, we learn it's like a 15-foot ladder, and, to go get the Wi-Fi, and he slips and misses. So then he falls in a pile of, I don't know what those are, but they look like they hurt. Just gonna say that. No, he doesn't fall in those. He falls and they fall on him, but then Jonathan jumps on top of Jordan. But we learn later that Jordan actually twisted it to protect John. But then Clark comes in, and he like does that super fast. He only removes one, but we don't see the rest. But we see inside that Jordan and Jonathan are fine. We had a medic come later, and we see that he said that they only have minor concussions, which is weird. Maybe Lois and Clark's suspicions that one of their sons have powers is right. But I don't know. Then Jordan and Jonathan get sent to their rooms, and they have a conversation about how that what happened to them was just more weird than Jordan, because Jonathan just called Jordan weird. But then Sam Lane, General Lane, comes to visit because he has slowed down footage of showing a blurry image of the dude who cut through that. And how could you tell anything? But he does come with knowledge that it's Kryptonian, and it says, "You are not a hero, Kal-El," which I don't know. That's interesting. But then they go to the bank to talk to Lana, and Lana talks about how they could either sell the farm and get money for it, or they could pay the mortgage and stay there, which we obviously know what they're going to do. But then Jordan and Jonathan check the basement, and they find something in the barn, a basement, and they look around and they see that they find a ship, an alien ship underneath it, which I'll be honest, it's 20 years have improved. That ship looks way better than it did in Smallville. That ship looked like a PS2 game in Smallville. But anyway, now it looks real. But anyway, then Jordan and Jonathan just confront Lois and Clark right as they get home from the bank, and they're like, "How can you do that? How can you do that? What is there?" And they talk. They talk, and they learn that Clark is an alien. But when they mention Krypton, they're like, "No, you're not Superman. I know Superman. I've seen him. But he's just bad posture and glasses. You've known your father for 14 years, and you haven't noticed that it's just a change in posture and glasses." But then Clark proves it. He lifts up the truck, which is a reference to the baby in Superman the movie. And then he flies with holding the truck. And if you've seen the behind the scenes, that's really cool how they did that. But Lois and Clark are there, and Jonathan and Jordan. One is super angry, and one's just like, "Oh, my dad's Superman. Cool." I don't know. Based off the photos I'm showing, can you tell which is which? But I'm just gonna say, Jordan is super mad that they could lie, and Lois and Clark explain everything about how they didn't want to tell them because they didn't. It was too much of a burden to know, and what if one of you has powers and what if the other one doesn't? And Jordan's like, "Yeah, I don't have powers. Jonathan does. Just look at him. Look at him." And but then Lois and Clark are looking at plants and just talking. But then Superman gets buzzed in by, I don't know who, but it's at another reactor plant, and he just rushes there. And we learn that this dude from Halo, yeah, I said it, knows a bunch about Superman and how he can't look through lead. But eventually he finds a weak spot that doesn't have lead and gets that dude, and they fight. They have an awesome fight. They fight in the sky, through space. The best part is in space, which, I don't know, Superman can't breathe in space usually, but I'm gonna make an exception. And then, oh my god, this fight scene was so good. He uses his heat vision, his breath, which, this is when I knew what was gonna happen, because look at that suit. It's Halo, dude. No, it's a Lexo suit from the comics, It's a Lexo suit from the comics. It just doesn't look like the ones from Supergirl because he's from a different Earth, which is why he said his Earth was destroyed. Or his world. But anyway, they go back into the space and, like, Earth multiple times. It's weird because it's nighttime in Smallville, which is Kansas, and then, it's morning over in, like, China or Asia, wherever they were. You could tell by the buildings around. But then, we see that Jordan went to a party with Jonathan, but we don't see Jonathan there. And, Sarah Cushing is there, and they talk, and they talk about why she likes Jordan, and she says that she saw Jordan take that pill earlier for his anxiety, and then she kind of talks about how she took her mom's pills and I don't want to say it, but maybe she didn't want to be alive. I don't know, that's kind of dark for it. I chalk this as a TV PG show, but then Jordan mislabels this situation. And I don't know, he has social anxiety. How is he not freaking out with all those people there? But he kind of misreads the situation and kisses Sophie. No, not Sophie, Sarah. Sarah Cushing, yeah. He kisses Sarah, and Sarah's boyfriend is there, and he didn't know. So, like, Sarah's boyfriend pushes him and, like, punches him, but then John comes in and, like, defends him. That's it. If you have siblings, you know, you hate them, but you will do anything for them. So John comes in and protects them and everything, and then John gets like hurt. But then we cut back to Superman and his fight, and then Superman gets stabbed with kryptonite by, I'm just gonna say it, Captain Luthor. That's just what I'm calling him. He gets stabbed by kryptonite with Captain Luthor or the Halo Man, whichever one you like better. But Captain Luthor stabs Superman with kryptonite. I think we've established that. Maybe I've been saying that for a minute. I don't know. But Superman falls back down to Earth, and it's really cool. He pulls the thing out. Imagine how bad that must hurt. But you're Superman, you're heal fast. But your suit won't, which is weird, because your suit repaired. But he stops right in front of a car, and I thought that was so awesome, man. I loved that he stopped right in front of the car. Not on the car, not just like above the car, an inch before. But then he gets a thing from Lois where she presses the button, and then he flies to where the fire happened. Oh, I didn't even mention it. When Jordan was getting beat up, we see that John had a bunch of blood on him, and Kryptonians don't bleed. But you know who wasn't bleeding? Maybe he was, just dirt. Jonathan wasn't bleeding, and he gets so fed up with that he uses his laser eyes from his Superman powers for the first time. But then Clark comes and takes care of Jordan and Jonathan, and we see Kyle Cushing. I don't know what he said to Clark, but it's a remark, and Clark just says thank you. Thank you for saving my kids. But we learned that, I forgot to mention this, but Sarah said that her dad may be like that because of, like, people starting on stuff you don't want to talk about it. Like, she said people cooking drugs in, their houses and starting the house on fire, and the kids were trapped and killed. Like, you don't want to see that. You don't talk about that. Maybe that's why he's so messed up. But at home, John says something to Jordan, and he walks out, but then Clark follows, and Clark tells Jordan something about, Jonathan Kent, the original one, Clark's father, and how that day he was just going to church with Martha. That's all, and then a baby landed in front of him from space, and he had to become a father from that day on. You think he was prepared? No, he wasn't even expecting it, but he did it, no questions asked. And then it's the next day where, Jordan, him and John are, like, getting ready for whatever, they're just leaving, and, Clark and Lois ask them, would you rather, they don't ask, they're like, we're thinking about staying in Smallville, because Clark realized what his mom meant by whispering, come home, when Clark was flying, and I know I didn't mention that, I'm sorry, he meant come home. Over the phone, his mom said that Jordan and Jonathan are going to age quicker than you expected. They're going to be out of the house quicker than you expected. And Jonathan did say that time in Smallville is like a minute. A day in Smallville is like a year. So Clark slows down, and they're deciding to stay in Smallville, maybe. Which, I don't know. Yeah, do it. I mean, we already know that they're going to stay in Smallville. It's no question. There's footage of them unpacking in the house, but anyway, I thought this episode was really good, and I just want to say, if you're here to the end, can you please just comment Capitan, like Pavel would say, from GTA. But, oh, I forgot, we have a reveal at the end where we see, the Halo dude. He walks into a ship and removes his helmet, and he is a bald African-American man, but the computer says that, his name is Captain Luthor, which I don't know what that's in, but still, I don't know, I'm done with my review. I hoped you liked it. Please subscribe, like, comment, I don't know, but goodbye, and have a great day.